The Lost Army of Cambyses, 50,000 soldiers who vanished without a trace. The scorching sun blazed over the vast Sahara desert, its heat merciless, turning the golden sands into an endless ocean of fire. The wind whispered through the dunes, shifting the landscape, erasing footprints, swallowing anything that dared to challenge its fury. And somewhere beneath those sands, an entire army lay buried. 50,000 soldiers lost to history, their fate a mystery that has puzzled the world for over 2,500 years. This is the story of the Lost Army of Cambyses, the greatest vanishing act in military history. It was 524 BC, and the Persian Empire was at the height of its power. Its ruler, King Cambyses II, son of Cyrus the Great, had just conquered Egypt, expanding his dominion across the lands of the Nile. But power breeds ambition, and Cambyses was not satisfied. In the far western desert, hidden deep in the sands, lay the Siwa Oasis, home to the Oracle of Amun. This sacred temple was known for its prophecies, and its priests had refused to acknowledge Cambyses as the rightful ruler of Egypt. Enraged, the king vowed revenge. He would not tolerate defiance, not from men, and certainly not from gods. And so, he sent an army of 50,000 soldiers on a mission of destruction. Their orders were simple: march across the desert, reach the Siwa Oasis, burn the temple to the ground, and slaughter the priests of Amun. Fully armed and prepared for war, the Persian army set out from Thebes, modern-day Luxor. They were equipped with weapons, food, and vast supplies of water. The king's generals were confident. After all, they were the mightiest fighting force in the world. What could go wrong? For days they marched. The sun burned their skin, the sand slowed their steps, but still, they pressed forward. Guided by local desert nomads, they followed an ancient path through the dunes, confident they would soon reach their target. Then the desert struck back. According to ancient historian Herodotus, the army had reached the halfway point when a monstrous sandstorm descended upon them. The sky darkened. The winds roared like the wrath of the gods. A wall of blinding sand rushed toward them, swallowing everything in its path. Men screamed as they were ripped from their feet, lost in the swirling storm. The air became thick with dust, choking out all sound, all sight, all hope. For hours, maybe days, the storm raged. And when it finally passed, the army was gone. Every soldier, every chariot, every weapon wiped from existence. Not a single man returned. No bodies, no shields, no sign that 50,000 men had ever marched into the desert. It was as if the sands had opened their mouths and swallowed them whole. For centuries, historians debated the truth of this story. Was the army truly wiped out by a natural disaster, or was there something more? Some believe they simply got lost, wandered in circles, and died of thirst. Others claim they were ambushed by enemy forces, perhaps by Egyptian rebels or desert tribes, who erased all traces of their defeat. But then, in modern times, clues began to surface. In the early 2000s, Italian archaeologists made a shocking discovery. Deep in the desert, buried beneath the dunes, they found human bones, hundreds of them. Alongside them lay Persian-style arrowheads, bronze weapons, and fragments of armor. Had the desert finally given up its dead? The evidence suggests that something terrible did happen to Cambyses' army, but whether they perished in a storm, fell to an ambush, or were simply abandoned by their guides, we may never know. The desert guards its secrets well, and perhaps, beneath the endless waves of shifting sand, the rest of Cambyses' lost soldiers still wait, buried, forgotten, lost to time.